Hello, everyone. It is Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist. And in this video today, I am going to attempt is the operative term, to give you a short video to show you how to use very simply, in a very simplistic way, um, numerology, your core numbers in numerology, to understand a basic outline about your trajectory in life. Sometimes I feel like right now, especially, we're all feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling confused. All of these feelings that are coming into play right here and right now. And so I'm hoping that this might assist you in using your numerology to I don't know, step it back for just a second and get into the essence of what you are here to do, numerologically speaking. So one of the things that I find that I do all the time is that I get on a little tangent in terms of what I get interested in, right? What I'm curious about. That often, for me anyway, includes reading books and reading a lot of books around a certain topic or by a certain author, that sort of thing. And I don't know why, but there was a book that I have had on my bookshelf literally, I don't know, for 20 years. I'm really not kidding. It's been sitting there, just sitting there. I have not opened it up. If I had opened it up, I'd put it back. I didn't look at it. And somehow, some way, this book kind of like was like, okay, it's time. It's time for you to read me. And it was or is a book on Edgar Cayce. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Edgar Cayce's work. He was born in the late 1800s. He passed, I don't know when he passed, something like 1945 or something like that. He was called the Sleeping Prophet. And there was an institute that studied his readings. He would literally lie on the couch, put his hands over his chest, and go into a trance state where he could read the Akashic Records. He could tell someone anything from what the meaning of life is in terms of the galactic nature of things, all the way to what they were allergic to or if their love relationship was a good match. Kind of a good guy to have on speed dial, I'm thinking. Anyway, really, really amazing work. And all of his work has been recorded. And there was a research institution, and it still exists. I'll put the link down below if you're curious at all about Edgar Cayce. There are lots of books by Edgar Cayce himself, and then there are books about Edgar Cayce by other people. And this book happens to be by Kevin J. Todeschi. I'll also put, well, it's on my screen when we move forward. All right. So you'll have his name in case you would like to look him up as well. I gather he has written many books about Edgar Cayce and his work, but this book in particular was Edgar Cayce on the Akashic Records. And again, another concept that you may or may not know about. It is the book of life. Often people, I mean, have talked. All kinds of people talk about accessing the Akashic record. It's a field. It is in the field, and it is a record of every thought, feeling, experience, everything that each and every one of our souls has had. And many people can access this. I believe we all can. Depends on, again, how we understand it and our how we go about it. I don't want to belabor these. These are huge topics that could, fill a library themselves. What I'm attempting to do is say, oftentimes, me personally, I will be stuck. I'll be in a stuck place, emotionally, I don't know, spiritually, in any kind of any leeways. And it always helps me to reach out and remind myself of certain things, learn something new, be curious, be open about something else, right? Something more, something different that might change my perspective. So I'm hoping that this video will provide you with a little fun. I hope it kind of sounds a little bit heavy, but I don't want it to be heavy. I would like it to be like, oh, well, this could be actually kind of fun to work through this exercise. So the exercise that I am wanting to work through is this. This is also present in my book, The Ultimate Guide to Practical Numerology, where I go through this as I call it your life script. You can call it whatever you want to. It's just a framework to look at in terms of how to understand our numerology in terms of what we came here to do and the complexities and the beauty of the interaction and the engagement with it, and to touch back to my current reading with Edgar Cayce, and anyone else who does, I don't know, mediumship, psychic readings, who's had a near-death experience, anything in that realm. There's so many examples here, but that are, you know, our current life is simply an extension of our other lifetimes, and there's got to be some bleed over from one time to the next. It's always engaging, it's always interacting. Even karma is said to be as like a memory. It's a memory of experience in the past. So numerology very much, um, um, you know, holds hands with these ideas and with this concept. So what I'm going to start with now, okay? I'm going to start talking about our numerology. Now, if you're new to numerology, you just stumbled on this video, you're going to have to maybe take a little pause and at least look up what your life path number is. I'm assuming that if you have watched this far, that you are someone who already knows your core numbers. Okay, if you don't know your core numbers, and I think I have a slide here in a minute, I maybe did that in the wrong order, but you'll forgive me, right? So anyway, you might need to, if you're totally new to this, you might take a moment, and there are all kinds of free numerology reading programs that you could get online. There's ChatGPT. There's also paid for narratives that you can get that provide you much more information. And there are also a little bit of discrepancies sometimes with calculations and that sort of thing. I am working with Pythagorean numerology. So just know that, and there are different kinds of numerology. So you just get to explore and to express that. So getting that in front of you, if you do know your core numbers, the core numbers I will say are the life path, the expression or the destiny number, the soul urge number, the birthday number, the day you were born. And in this context, we're also going to use the maturity number, and you get that number by adding together the life path and the expression or the destiny number. That is your maturity number. Now, we're not going to talk about all these in depth. You can go back to my channel. There are playlists there where you can explore these in greater depth, the understanding in greater depth. So right now we're assuming a certain level of knowledge about your own chart so that you can do this exercise. All right. So what I am going to do though is give you a reminder of the numbers as they might show up as a life path number or as one of the other core numbers in your chart. So the number 1 is going to show up when that shows up. That indicates the innovative leader. The key themes, the key components here are independence, individualism, very entrepreneurial, very productively, hopefully, disruptive, and somewhat self-focused. The 2 is the lover, not the fighter. So the 2 is very intuitive, all about a win-win situation. They're the peacemakers. They are very helpful, extremely sensitive, and are prone to insecurity. So the 3 is the creative communicator. This is all about, these people are all about creative self-expression. They have a lot of emotional sensitivity. They're usually performers, creators, artists. They have a lot of, they are here to be optimistic, to be witty, and they can sometimes battle with emotional highs and lows and depression. The 4 is the organized educator, very hardworking, values stability and security. They are the good systems builders when they finally figure that out. Sometimes it takes a while, right? All you 4s. They are highly responsible, trustworthy, and they deal with a little bit of workaholism and some limitation. The 4 is the number of limitation. So the 5 is the sensuous freedom seeker. They are here for the experience, okay? They are fearless, adventurous, excessive, and sometimes addictive, all right? So, all right, let's move forward here. There we go. So the 6 is the nurturing visionary. They are all about home, family, duty, service. They are responsible to a fault. They can be, kind of the flip side, controlling, a little bit of a perfectionist, but they are very, very service oriented and dutiful. So the 7 is the analyst and the seeker. They are they're kind of enigmas. They are the left brain, right brain folks that are constantly trying to figure out weigh the data against the unknown and unknowable. They are built-in skeptics. They're highly intellectual. They really are on a different wavelength. They're mystical, magical, but sometimes it takes them a while to figure that out. Okay, they're super psychics, but they've got to really balance their skepticism and open up to that. The 8 is the material manifester. They are their key themes, key concepts: money, power, control, authority, empowerment. They want to have respect. They are the pillars of the community. And it's kind of a butt kicker. It's kind of like being in boot camp when you have an 8 in your chart, because you're really being called upon to be ethical and do well financially so that you can live the higher octave of power and empowerment and do good and have influence for the good and betterment of all. All right. The 9 is the compassionate humanitarian. They are the old soul. These are enigmatic people too, multi-gifted, multi-talented, otherworldly. They are spiritual and creative, and they are the number of limited rewards. And what that means is that they have to do what their soul and their heart calls them to do. They have to do it because they can't not do it. So they are drawn in that direction. So the limited rewards aspect in numerology comes from, they can't do it because they want to be rewarded, remunerated, fame, for go for, only for that. It will follow them as long as they are doing it for the good of all, for the selfless service. The master numbers: 11-2 is the channel, the 22-4 is the master builder, and the 33-6 is that teacher of unconditional love. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at one word that encompasses these numbers in numerology. And so stick with me here, because then we're going to put it in a framework where you can get a rough little, very simple idea about what you're doing here and why and how you're going to do it. Okay, so you can take notes, you can do whatever you want to do, but these are what I would like to really drill down. I'm drilling down. It's hard to do one word, right, for each of these things, but that's what we're going to do. So the number 1, if it shows up somewhere in your chart, okay, anywhere in your chart, and we're talking now about your personality profile, your core numbers. We're not talking in this video about cycles of time and the influences of that, okay? That would be a whole other video, and maybe we will do that. But right now we're focusing, and I just want to be clear about that. So the number 1, when it shows up as one of your core numbers, the primary driver here is achievement. The driving force for the number 1 is I want to achieve, and I want to do it my own way. The number 2 is love. The driving force for the number 2 is I want to love and be loved in return. So the word for the one word for the 3 is expression. So the driving force for the number 3 is I want to express myself, be heard and understood. All right. The number 4, the one word for the number 4 is results. The driving force for the number 4 is I want results and a sense of accomplishment from everything I do. The number 5, all about experience. The driving force for the number 5 is I want to experience everything in life with the fullest amount of freedom possible. So the number 6, to be of use. The driving force for the number 6 is I want to help, support, and nurture. The number 7 is all about meaning. The driving force for the number 7 is I want to know why and how. The number 8 is power. The driving force for the number 8 is I want to be powerful, respected, and influential. The number 9 is compassion. The driving force for the number 9 is I want the world to be a better place. The 11-2 is about spiritual healing. The 22-4 is about spiritual legacy. And the 33-6 is about spiritual nurturance. All right. So in order to do this exercise, you will need to have your individual numerology profile, at least those core numbers. Again, to repeat that: life path, expression or destiny, soul urge, birthday, and maturity number. So you can get a numerology chart for free or a paid narrative through many different sources online. You can go to my website. I do have a paid for chart there. I've got all kinds of blog posts. I've got, everything there at FeliciaBender.com. But if you want a narrative, you can purchase it there. And you can also purchase my book, The Ultimate Guide to Practical Numerology. That is available through my website, also on Amazon. That is a resource that will walk you through how to do the calculations, and then also what it all means. All right. So here's how this is going to go. This is very simple. All right. Very, very simple. You can write this down. My life's purpose is you're going to put your life path number in there. All right. Just put the number itself. The way in which I go about, I forgot to underline insert life path, but this is insert the life path there. The number is with, now you're going to insert the destiny or the expression number. My soul's calling is centered around, and you're going to insert the number of your soul, the soul urge number, also called the heart's desire number, by the way. While I realize that others see me as primarily the personality number, right? So you insert that personality number. A special gift I have to give to the world is, and now you insert your birthday number. As I evolve and mature, I'm heading toward, now you insert the maturity number. All right. So let's say, as an example, that this is your profile. You have a 4 life path, a 9 expression, a 2 soul urge, an 8 personality, a 3 birthday. The maturity number is, it's a little, I added a little complexity, not meaning to. This is a karmic debt number, 13, 4. When you add the life path 4 and the destiny or expression 9, you get a 13. We're not going to go into what that brings to the table, but just know that there is always more depth that you can get into with numerology. All right. So now I do, as a 4 life path with with compassion is with compassion by making the world a better place in whatever way I can. Um, and that is the nine. That is the nine destiny expression. And I think I messed up here. Sorry about that. Um, my life's purpose. I think I deleted something. Sorry about that. But the way that I do my four life path, the way that I am engaging my four life path is with compassion, by making the world a better place in whatever way I can. That is the soul. That is the destiny number. Sorry about that. Okay, now my soul's calling is centered around giving and receiving unconditional love, which is the two soul urge. While I realize that others see me primarily as an achiever, which is an 8 personality, a gift I have to give to the world is my sense of joyful self expression, which is the 3 birthday. As I evolve and mature, I'm heading toward basking in the results of my hard work while adding a dose of lightness and creativity into the mix. That would be the 13 for maturity. And so as I go through as I go through all of this, and it's kind of interesting. I'm going to go back here. I hope you'll. Sorry, I'm usually much more in line and prepared, and I obviously did not really do the checkpoint that I should have done with that. So hold on here. I'm looking at the book. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to go back for just a second. Sorry, rather than re-recording this entire thing, I'm just going to go back, okay? So the way in which I'll go about producing tangible results with whatever I do, the 4 life path. See, that's where I made a mistake in terms of editing. That's the 4 life path, is with compassion by making the world a better place in whatever way I can. So that's the 9 destiny expression. And then the rest of this falls into place. But where I missed a sentence was at the beginning of this. So producing tangible results with whatever I do is ultimately the core and the essence of what the 4 life path has come in to do. All right. So there we go. I feel better now. Thank you for humoring me. So I did want to just wrap this up with, this is from the book that I read and finished up last week, and it's called Edgar Cayce, um, on the Akashic Records by Kevin J. Todeschi. And what I see over and over and over with clients is that, and this is taken from the book, this is an idea that I highlighted and I'm sharing with you, which is that individuals have the mistaken assumption that when they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, their lives will somehow be easy. Through Cayce's readings, it becomes evident that this is not necessarily true. And so, what I would like to say is, as we know our numerology, as these things, as we're working with it, I often find that people are like, why is this so hard? Why, my life has been pulled out of the vast, millions of souls to be the hardest. And um, and so I must be doing something wrong, right? So that is not the case. And I would really love to emphasize that, because a lot of times my clients really beat themselves up about that. And I would like to offer the idea that that's not true. Often we choose to come in on maybe a different route. It's interesting also because I also love Dolores Cannon's work, and she has been known to say that some people come in on what she calls a resting lifetime, where it was really really hard last time, so this time they're taking it a little bit easy, and which is a reminder to all of us that we cannot judge somebody else's path. Stick to our own, right? Stick to working on our own. So another highlighted moment from this book that I wanted to share is that too often there's a gap between knowledge and its application. Cayce's readings often admonished individuals to do what you know what to do, and the next step will be given. Soul growth is not dependent upon what someone knows, but rather about what someone does with what they know. So it's about taking action. And I think over and over again, we see that we could be as intellectual and think about it all we want to, and yet if we are not engaged in daily actions that are exemplative, that are an example, then we're not doing it, right? We're not doing it. So Cayce believed that the study of astrology, numerology, and other metaphysical modalities could give an individual an accurate indication of the qualities, traits, opportunities, and challenges that he or she came in with. And I find right here and right now, once again, that we are really needing some validation, something to hold on to as we move through what we're all considering quite massive changes in terms of everything in the world. So I would say also the common factor for those who have near-death experiences or other connections with the other realms, whether it's mediums, psychics, channels, you name it, right? That at the end of the day, at the end of it all, it is not about your successful career, the money, the fame. Of course, that can be part of what you end up doing and experiencing. There's nothing wrong with that inherently, but it's not the action that is going to fulfill your soul contract. What Edgar Cayce would say over and over is that when he would connect with the Akashic Records and with what was the the record shows, the emotions, the healing, the things that a person engaged in on that level, not so much what they did off the check, off the punch list in terms of I was a lawyer and I did that and I achieved this and I did that. It wasn't so much that as what they learned and what they gave along the way. So it's about what you learned, how you were of service, how you healed yourself, how you took responsibility for yourself in that way, and how you loved both yourself and others. So the takeaway here is that we are all experiencing unprecedented intensity in our lives and around and in the world globally. Look at any astrology, anyone channeling, anyone. Just look at your neighbor, and stuff. People are going through a lot right now. So we need to remind ourselves of that bigger picture, yet also remind ourselves to remember that we do have these tools to keep us focused on our higher learning and higher expression of our soul's contract. So stay curious, friends, and I hope this has been of use to you. So thank you.